Sorry about this shirt. Um, I lost the last button, so it's a forever shirt that's just kind of open there. But I'm going to introduce you to something I like to call the divot. What the heck is Mark talking about here? The divot is why the Constitution class saucer and the refit look really, really cool from the bottom, and the Strange New Worlds Enterprise, that being the Strange New Worlds Constitution class, looks terrible from underneath. One looks expensive and complicated, and one looks cheap. The divot? Have you ever noticed that there's something going on with the underside of the original series and refit Constitution class saucer? We're going to find out exactly what I'm talking about. And I didn't like it at first. As with many things with the Constitution class TOS style, I thought it was weird at first. But over time, I learned to love it. And actually, I prefer the original TOS Constitution class over the refit. There's something about the cylindrical saucers and the straight nacelle pylons that are more simple than the refit, and simplicity in my mind translates to technological prowess, right? It doesn't look as complicated, right? And there's this thing I learned on that website I always go to, x*Sphangia. I'll put it in the description. When you're creating a starship, you always want to avoid accidentally creating a space dragster. That being, you don't want to create a ship that looks fast, right? What do I mean by looking fast? Well, angular, overly angular, pylons that are swept back, things that look like they're moving in the wind, things that look aerodynamic. No, the ship doesn't have to look fast. If someone knows what they're looking for in Star Trek, they can figure out when a ship is really fast by looking at it. And sometimes it doesn't have to do with the shape of the ship. These nacelles, they're cylindrical. Nacelle pylons, straight. It's just the weird exposed dish at the front. It looks very fast. It looks somehow, apart from the forward dish, I would say it looks more advanced than the refit. But that's just me. Now back to the topic at hand. And this is actually not the best example of this. Like, it's not perfect. Like, they actually didn't do this exactly right, but they did it close. The TOS Constitution class, its saucer, has a divot on the underside. Oh, you can see it there, look. See how it's... Look closely. It's shinier at the end than it is in the middle. Look at the specular. It's scooped like this. Before it gets to the edge of the saucer, it goes in a little bit. And this is not the best example. They didn't do it perfect, but I'll show you what I mean with 3D visual aids. And I'll show you an example of the Strange New Worlds Enterprise not having it at all. And it looks so cheap. It looks, well, Strange New Worlds, the Enterprise, looks dirty. It's just too shiny. It looks like we built it today. It's bad. But you can see that it's not as scooped near the edge. And I'll also show you some other underside saucer views, like Galaxy class, and something that you might see on Ambassador class or perhaps Excelsior class. And you can see how their domed shape underneath does create an interesting visual. It does create an interesting specular, that being the shine. You see the shiniest point when it's reflecting like light. This is the light show that you get from the Divot Enterprise saucer underneath side, and the Galaxy class and Ambassador here. It way outclasses the specular that you get from the Strange New Worlds one. And the Strange New Worlds saucer, if it hits the light the wrong way, it's shining like a CD. It's shining the way a disc does, which is not what you want. It denotes cheapness. But the old Divot on the underside of the Constitution class, the real version, it subtly suggests a more complicated design because the light display is more complicated. It's a strange point to bring up, which is why I did a video on it. After modeling the Constitution class on my own so many times, I've realized how important it is to have these sections that are cut away, right? We scoop out something from the aft section. We scoop out something from the underneath the saucer. And when the light hits it, you go, wow, what is this? It has little specular highlights, you know? And I don't know if that's what Matt Jeffries was thinking of at the time, but I can see it now, and it's increased my appreciation for the original Constitution class, and decreased my appreciation for the Strange New Worlds Enterprise, because now I figured out a big reason why I just don't like it. No, it's not the sweatback nacelles. No, it's not the negative area in the nacelle pylons. It's underneath the saucer. That was the problem. People are going to say, "What do you mean? You got the exposed dish. You got the two nacelles above the saucer. What are you talking about? This is the Constitution class. It's good enough." No, it's not. We don't have the divot. There's no divot. And you may call this something different. I don't know. You may call it, oh, it's scooped. Oh, it's just weird. But no, it's a divot. It's a circular divot that goes all the way around the bottom of the saucer. And as per usual, with strange things that look like they don't make sense, I blame it on warp field dynamics. I blame it on the fact that, oh, we need these weird shapes in order to not pierce our own warp bubble or make our warp bubble more efficient. That's what I always blame it on, and it works for me. But when you were designing a ship, think about how it looks from every angle. Think about how the shine, the specular map, kind of forms onto the ship. Always consider it. It's very important, right? See, it's light here, dark here, light on the edge. Not the best example, but once again, I will be helping you out with the visual aids. And Matt Jeffries, thank you for designing such an incredible ship. Originally, I saw this and I was like, ooh, what's this? This is weird. And then, the decades go by, and I'm thinking, you know what? I think this is cool. Like, this is really cool. Like, just the way everything is so simple, But people, always remember that on the Constitution class, we need a divot. And the ships that kind of like take over for the Constitution class, like Excelsior, Ambassador, Galaxy, they don't have the divot necessarily, but the way the bump on the bottom is now, instead of being the curve at the edge of the bottom bump, instead of being concave, it's convex. So it does give you a little bit more of a light show, but you can't combine no divot with a concave sweeping bottom section. Can't do that. So anyway, that ended up being kind of like a weird bonus look at this ship, which I think we already looked at, and I gave not a perfect review. I'd love to return to the days where we could unbox models, because they were performing well, but it's not in the cards yet. You know what's weird is that way later in Voyager, when we find the Dauntless, if you look at it, it's got a huge divot. It's like this. It's like more so. If you look at the saucer section of the Dauntless, it goes in and then goes back down, and then you get the deflector section. It's like a Constitution class divot on steroids. And I'm just realizing now how amazing that is. And I very often incorporate it in my own starships if you're paying that much attention. And that's why, hopefully that's a good enough explanation for you. But always remember that light and darkness are at the heart of ship design, and art in general, I suppose. And you should always be looking for what kind of light show you're being given when you're looking at a ship from any specific angle. Every angle is important. I'm Lieutenant Mark. I'll see you next time I see you. So long.